Welcome to this week's What's for Dinner video. My name is Ashley. Every week I show you 3 different meals I have made during this week. I don't always follow recipes exactly, but if you are interested, I've linked some similar recipes down below. The first dinner I'm going to be showing you was some chicken Philly cheesesteaks. I'm going to start off by chopping up my vegetables. I'm just going to chop up 1 yellow bell pepper, 1 orange bell pepper, and a little bit of a yellow onion. I'm just going to dice them up into small slices. I swear that my favorite smell are bell peppers and onions sauteing together. So the next step is to season my vegetables. I'm just going to drizzle some oil on top, some onion powder, some voodoo seasoning, which we just got, and some garlic salt. So I'm just going to toss them all together and set them aside. So then I'm going to get started on my chicken. I'm just going to chop some chicken breasts into small slices. I'm going to put them in a bowl and do the same type of seasoning to the chicken. If you're wondering why I'm using chicken and you've watched some of my other videos, you know that most of my meals are chicken. It's because I don't eat much red meat at all. I do eat bacon and some meatballs, but I mainly get all my protein from chicken. But anyways, I'm just going to season the chicken with the same seasonings that I used for the bell peppers and the onion. So I'm going to get started on cooking my chicken. I just have a little bit of oil in the pan. It is important to have your pan set on high. I have set on about an 8 on my stove. The reason being so you can basically get rid of all that water that the chicken and the vegetables will let out. So all of that steam coming off of the pan is the water evaporating. So I'm just going to saute the vegetables until they're nice and soft, and then I'm going to add the chicken back. So once everything is mixed together, I'm just going to assemble my chicken Philly cheesesteaks. So I just put mayonnaise on the bread. I topped it with some provolone cheese and put it in my toaster oven on broil until the cheese was melted. This is how everything looked when it was done. The next meal I'm going to show you are my Taquitos De Pollo. So I'm going to start off with putting 4 chicken breasts in my crock pot, and then I'm going to shred them. At the same time, I'm going to put my refried beans in the oven at about 350 degrees. Next, I'm going to work on my Mexican rice. I show this in depth in just about every single video. So I'm just going to add my seasonings, add my tomato sauce, add my water, and then add my bouillon powder. I'm going to bring this up to a boil and then put a lid on it and turn it down to low for about 20 minutes. So I'm going to start assembling my taquitos. So I do warm up my tortillas in the microwave. You have to be able to roll them, otherwise they will just break. So to my filling of chicken, I just added some cheese and some more seasonings like cumin, garlic salt, and onion powder. I'm going to roll these up and face them seam side down on a plate. I will do the same thing when I put them in the oil. So I have my oil set on about medium heat. I use my tongs to place them in the oil so I don't burn myself. I'm going to let them fry on both sides until they're golden brown, and I do flip them halfway. I am also not afraid to touch them when I flip them, just to make sure they're the desired crunchy and hardness that I want. So once they're about ready, I'm going to get ready to drain them. You just want to pick them up and drain the excess oil off both sides. Otherwise, when you bite into it, it will just be a super oily mess. I'm just going to place them on a drying rack to cool. So I'm just going to repeat the process for mine. Fun fact, after we ate dinner, I made like 15 more taquitos to take over to my mom's house. Taquitos are my favorite dish to eat and everyone else's favorite dish of mine to eat, so I always have to share them. So again, I'm just going to drain the oil off each taquitos. These actually do hold heat pretty well, so they can sit on the rack for about 5 to 7 minutes before you actually need to eat them. And this is how my fiance's plate looked when it was done. The next meal I'm going to be showing you is something I just whipped up really quickly. I just have some meatballs, some Parmesan pasta, some green beans, and some garlic bread. So I just put the meatballs in the oven about 375, and now I'm going to work on my green beans. I'm just going to season it with some honey barbecue sauce and some garlic salt. And these will go in the oven at about 350 degrees. So I'm going to get started on whipping together my pasta. I'm just going to add some oil and some butter to a pan. I'm going to fry up some garlic until it's nice and fragrant. So once I think I've made quite the garlic butter sauce, I'm just going to add in some penne noodles. I also am going to add in about half a cup of the pasta water. And since it's technically a Parmesan pasta, I'm just going to go heavy in with my Parmesan cheese. I'm just going to mix everything together until the cheese starts to melt and it starts to form more of a layer. So next I'm going to go in with some dried parsley flakes, and then I'm going to add some more Parmesan cheese. This pasta definitely just did the job. It was just something I just came up with at the top of my head. It turned out pretty good as a side. Here I am tasting it. This is how everything looked when it was done. Thank you so much for watching this week's What's for Dinner video. Make sure you come back next week for another one.